Welcome everyone, one and all, to my reaction to Season 3, Episode 4 of Heartstopper Journey. Now, last time we ended with an absolutely beautiful scene, which was Charlie finally feeling comfortable enough to go to his parents, explain the situation, and basically ask for help, which was so bloody amazing. Good on Nick for being there with him. I think that was the thing that Charlie needed, you know, to not make it seem as scary. But yeah, amazing first step. We did have a few discussions in the comments last episode as well that I want to touch on quick. A few different topics. The first one being Tara, and somehow me just completely missing the idea of her feeling the pressure of being good at school and everything. I don't know why that wasn't at the forefront of my brain. Like, that makes so much sense. I don't know why getting all the good grades and everything, it wasn't entering my mind that it would cause a lot of pressure. I have no reason to say why that happened. I just had a blank moment. But yeah, thank you for letting me know down below, because that does make so much sense. Of course, she's going to be dealing with a lot of new fears, especially going into sixth form and everything with these high grades. It's like, fuck, I've got to do well. Like, I need to continue this trend. Like, everyone's really counting on me to do well. It's like, so I do get it, bless her. But a couple of the other points that we brought up, the fact that Nick was using the word fix, relating more so to the fact that Charlie himself had used the word previously, which I feel like I do still stick with what I was saying about the word fix and everything, but I do understand what people are saying in regards to the fact that he was just like piggybacking off of that comment. However, we do still need that like language changed, because it's not gonna like help going forward, you know. But thank you for reminding me of that, because I did forget. And the third point that we discussed was the self-harm scars on his arm, and the fact that that's like the point that he keeps grabbing, which is very concerning, because best case, it is a form of habit. It is a thing that he's like linking to when he's feeling this anxiety and everything. Worst case is it's happening again, which I do very much hope that that is not the case. But considering how bad his mental health has got, I wouldn't be shocked if it is. I hope and pray that we haven't got to that place. I hope that him seeking help was like quick enough, but as with all things, I guess we shall see. So yes, with that said, very excited to get into this and see the journey that Charlie embarks on. So without further ado, let's go. Christmas episode, stop. No, stop. I love Christmas. Wait, how much time has passed?
It's a long drive and Charlie wants to get home and unpacked and stuff.
I can't believe it's been 2 months.
Yeah, same.
Sorry to pause so early, but what? Oh, fuck. Okay. Charlie can't wait to get home and get unpacked. I assume he went away to a facility that can help him then. Okay, that's good to know that he got like full-on professional help then. That's really good to see. But shit. Wow.
It's been a long 2 months.
Have you done any journaling?
I still don't really think I'm a journaling sort of person.
That's fair. I'm not either. I've tried.
If I didn't journal every day, I'd literally have a breakdown.
Alright, you don't have to give me the whole picture.
That's concerning.
You know that saying, things get worse before they get better? I think I understand that now.
Aww. It's at our lowest point that we're open to the greatest change.
Back in September, Charlie had a GP appointment.
Oh, fuck yeah. Here we go.
Must have gone okay, because he got referred to an eating disorder service.
Was there a long wait time?
The appointment for that wasn't until January.
Thought so. Fuck.
Things started to get really bad after that.
Oh no.
I'd have to tell you everything. Then
Oh
he started
god.
getting really angry, and then he stopped talking to me about it. He started skipping school a lot.
Fuck you. Not this song.
Sorry.
If you say that word one more time.
I've been so horrible to you and everyone else.
No.
I hate feeling like this. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. My dog's barking, so this is probably a good point to stop, because that was all very overwhelming. Oh, that was a lot to process. Okay, so we're not just doing a pure time jump. It wasn't so quick and easy as, okay, get help, get appointment, get booked in, go away. Nah, it was a longer process than that. Fuck. As soon as I don't know why I didn't even take into consideration that this is like the British healthcare system. Like, I don't know why that didn't even pop into my head. Of course, seeking a GP appointment and a referral is going to take time. I mean, I'm still waiting for my ADHD assessment. I got recommended. It was I had to go through a private system, because basically the NHS have a system where, because their backlog is so long for things like that, for ADHD, I think it's like 3 years. It's insane that they've come up with an own system where like they will literally fund you to get an appointment by going to a different company, like a private company, but they'll pay for it. It's crazy. Like, that's how bad, like, the backlog for that is. And that's just one area of the NHS system. And even then, going to a private company, it was still, I think I had to wait, like, 10 weeks for the private company to finally, like, sort through it all. And now I'm having to wait 18 weeks after that. It's absolutely insane. And that's going through, like, a completely separate system. Not even the NHS's system itself. So him going and seeking help, I'm not surprised that it took long. I don't know why that didn't even fucking enter my head. That's so silly. I wonder if they go private then, because we know that Nick said it's been 2 months and school starts in September. So it would have had to be around October time, if it's near Christmas, that Charlie actually got help. So I wonder if it got, like, very severe and his parents were like, fuck it, let's, like, try and come up with the money and send him through a private healthcare system, which, that fucking sucks. This is horrible to see, though. It's like, I want to watch it because I want to watch the entire journey and everything, but you almost don't, you know? It's almost like you want to just watch it written down and skip the actual seeing it, because it hurts so much more when you actually see someone go through it.
Didn't feel like enough, but I guess I tried.
Oh, you did your best, mate. Trust and believe you
I tried
did your
to just be
best.
there.
It's at that point where he just needs a professional. Those three doing things together is so sweet.
It was an accident.
I know.
I just feel so stupid.
Oh god, what happened?
Dad said I had to do my decision.
Okay, wow.
Not really. If you cry, I'll cry.
What about me?
It was weird being at school without Charlie.
That
He wasn't allowed his phone in
sucks.
there, so I couldn't even ask how he was.
No, I was wondering if that was the case.
Guess I tried to keep myself busy, or distracted, or both.
Oh my god.
I wasn't very good.
Nick driving doesn't feel right.
Must be bad if he's been off this long.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
What's going on?
I just can't really talk about it.
Oh, good, mate.
There we go, good.
Yeah.
Once the boundary is set, respect it. Good on them.
Maybe we could put some self-care stuff, like face masks. Love it. What about ball
Aww.
gifts?
Oh, Darcy! Oh, I love it. Ever a Marvel fan?
I'm making a video for Charlie so he knows how much we all love him.
Oh, oh, Nick. Don't break my heart.
I love you.
Bro, that was painful. Oh, this sucks. I find it so intriguing that we're seeing Nick's point of view rather than Charlie's. I do wonder whether we're going to have like a flip at some point to see what he's going through, where he is, but I would understand if not, if we're going to focus more upon like how this impacts other people in his life as well, and more specifically like the absence of Charlie in Nick's life. I think this is a really interesting way to do it that I wasn't expecting. What? What? You can't just drop something like that and move on. What? Excuse me? Okay, let's go back a little bit. It's like I'm not shocked in the sense that they've been doing these like really weird hints. Not necessarily hints, but you know, for instance, say, was it last episode that they had that thing where Imogen was like, well, Sahar and I aren't a couple, and everyone was like, no one said you were? And it was like a really weird scene. I remember that because I was like, okay, are they trying to like hint at something potentially? But we'll see where this goes. But I was not expecting a out of the blue makeout session. Okay. Could it be one of those situations where like Imogen is straight, but she like got drunk and just like did it, you know? Rather than actually having feelings, and that's why Sahar was upset.
This is literally like when I got a boyfriend and she got mad at me for literally no reason.
Huh. Must be very overwhelming and depressing, honestly. Oh, my boy, no.
Mind if I join?
Tao. Oh, hell yeah. They had such a great, was it last? Yeah, it was at the end of season 2, wasn't it? They had a really good scene together. Oh, don't, I'll cry. One of those situations where like no words even need to be said, you know, like you both play, it is what it is. Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot. Sucks to see. On a like different note, to try and avoid the emotion of that. With Sahar and Imogen then. Imogen said it's like when she got angry at me when I got a boyfriend. Are we getting at the idea that Sahar may like have had a crush on Imogen for like years? Is that what we're potentially getting at? Because we know that they used to be friends, they had a falling out, and then we got to this point where they're like both in the group and everything, and it seems like things have been mended. But are we getting at the idea that maybe they had a falling out because Sahar was had her feelings hurt? The idea that Imogen was not interested in her? Because that could be a really cool thing to explore, I suppose. It's an area I don't think we've really covered in the show yet, have we? Because it is one of the most painful parts of the queer experience. When you're growing up and you get these crushes on people and you know that they like physically could never like you. They physically could never have the same feelings for you, but you cannot help it. Like, you can't help who you... Or what do you call it? Because I don't want to say like love, because sometimes it's not that deep, but you can't help who you get attached to. And it's a really painful thing. It really sucks. I remember at least 3 people throughout my school experience where kind of got attached to, kind of start having feelings for, and then it sucks when you kind of come to that, not necessarily like a realization, because I feel like you know from the very beginning, but kind of that sucky feeling of I can't help who I'm liking, and yet I'm still liking them, and it's fucking painful. So that could be a really cool thing to explore. But equally, when it comes to Imogen, I mean, she said in a previous episode something about she liked the idea of being with Ben, but when she was with him, she found it very boring. So I'm wondering whether we're going to go down like a how do you actually pronounce it? Compet? I've never actually said it out loud. I've only ever like written it or seen it written down. I think you just say like compet, like complying heterosexual, you know, where you're not actually that way, but because of society, you convince yourself that you are straight and that is what you want. So we could go down that route with Imogen as well. There are many different like cool routes that we could go down with their story. So very intrigued to see where we go from here.
Charlie phoned me from the clinic for the first time.
Well, next year I'm going to make you go as Spider-Man.
Your Marvel agenda is never going to work on me.
Aww.
So I have anorexia and OCD.
OCD. I was wondering with the things he was describing.
It's like I have all these rules in my head about food, and if I don't follow them, I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah. I will say this is tough to hear for Nick, but it is actually really nice to hear him so confidently talking about it.
Well, even if you do have anorexia and OCD, the word sorry is still banned.
Can't I play the mental illness card now?
I'd visit him with his family a couple times a week after that.
Yay!
What?
Nothing.
What do you fucking want?
Still not sure if Tori likes me.
Tori seems like one of those people where she's just like a very like anxiety-ridden person herself. So, for instance, you look at her, she's gonna be like what happened? Blah, blah, blah. Brain going a million miles an hour. You know, I don't see it as her not liking you. She's just got her own things going on. But that was actually, I have to say, a very lovely conversation to hear. Because even though he said that, like, if he doesn't laugh about it, he'll cry. Obviously, it's not, like, a quick and easy fix and everything. But hearing him just so openly and confidently talking about it and saying, I have anorexia and OCD. I have these rules in my head. If I don't do them, I think I'll die. Like, he's just saying them as, like, matter of fact. I've accepted. I've taken that in. And now we're working on trying to fix it. Like, that was insanely amazing to hear. Hello? Ah! Hi! Oh, look at his smile!
For some people, it doesn't help at all.
I hope he notices, like, a change in Charlie.
Can you kiss me, please?
I love how he's like, I don't want my parents to see. No.
I think it helped.
I do too.
really
Like,
do.
he genuinely seems better. Obviously, we've only seen a little part, but you know what I mean. Oh, we've gone back to September. Okay.
Guess a lot's happened since I last wrote anything.
So we get to see his point of view. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh.
It's hard to talk about it, though.
I hope that that was just like in his mind, the thing that his mum was saying. Like, he was thinking that she would say that. Because if she actually did say that, that does concern me. Because I know that for some parents, it can be that vibe of like, oh, you need to get out of bed. It's not doing you any good. Like, I'm trying to help, but like, that's really not helpful. Like, at all. So, I don't know. If that was actually something she said, I don't like that at all.
Staying in the clinic for a couple of months was not my plan, but I should count myself lucky that my parents could even afford it.
I was gonna say, I wonder if they have the funds for it, so.
Some people come out of these places even worse than when they went in, because they just get treated like shit.
Wow, that
I
sucks.
didn't get treated like shit.
That actually really sucks. Oh, that is such a cute lock screen. I don't know how I've never, like, noticed that. That is so cute.
We can't all be artists.
Bless people like this woman. Like, absolute stars.
I'm going to be your therapist while you're here. Should we sit down and get to know each other? Have a little chat.
He looks familiar. Can't think of what I've seen him in, though.
I hate chemistry. Never understood it.
Same. Doesn't make sense to me. Probably not like lifelong friends, but I wasn't alone.
Yeah, friends of a shared experience. You all need the company.
I think a part of me didn't even want to get better, because putting in the effort to change seemed too hard.
Wow, that's a very mature thing to recognize, to be fair, though.
For some people, an eating disorder is about body image. But from my perspective, your eating disorder is connected to obsessions and compulsions.
Related to control as well, yeah.
So let's unpack that.
The actual
Beautiful.
eating disorder treatment stuff was not very fun.
Look at him getting out of bed every morning. That's amazing, mate. It seems like I love the representation of this environment as well. It seems like such an environment of like joy and like trying to find the best things in life, trying to find the joy in life while working through these issues. It's really nice because sometimes you think of like a clinical place as very like cold, very... I don't know how to describe it other than cold. Cold just encompasses all of it, doesn't it? Like, the walls are grey and white and everything just feels so shit. And you're just trying to work through this issue. You hate where you are. So it's nice to see how, like, bright and refreshing this place is, you know? Like, her coming in the morning, getting him out of bed and everything. Really sweet. So far, I've really loved this representation as well. This seems really good. Obviously, it's not going to be everyone's experience. Like he said, some people leave these places feeling worse. Could be down to the place. Could be down to the person. Could be down to the treatment. You never know, but it's nice to at least see that this show is showing a more positive showing of it and showing that, like, look, if you get help, things can get better. Gonna be a long process, gonna be hard, but you can do it. That is what I was really hoping for, so this has been amazing so far.
Nick really wants to talk to you.
So they were seeing him before Nick came, okay?
I want to talk to him too.
He's my favourite. Your friends are quite annoying, but I like him.
Oh, I knew it.
That you'll stop telling me how amazing and wonderful he is and making me feel forever alone.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, well, I tried to stand up for myself.
Oh, I love her.
Could you look up Tao's number?
I've been making you a present.
You didn't have to do.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Sorry I didn't tell you.
I didn't exactly make it easy for you.
You were having your summer of love.
Yeah.
Not a crime.
Yeah, well, I love you too.
Ah.
So,
I like that Charlie reassured him as well, because it's like it's not like it's all Tao's fault, you know.
can I ask you how you are?
Oh, okay.
That kind of a shit question right now.
Yeah, it's kind of a shit question right now.
I hate that you were so... And I had no idea.
I was good at hiding it.
Yeah.
But I missed it. I totally missed it.
Can't catch everything.
Can you explain to me what happened with Imogen and Zahar? Because Nick was being weighed.
Give it to me.
Imogen was doing shots like all night. I mean, a whole bottle of tequila.
Fucking hell, Imogen. Why are you skipping it? Fuck you. I wanted it. That's pissed me off. I'm trying to enjoy this, but that's pissed me off. Give me the tea.
My name is Tao Su, and this is my short film about the everyday lives of my friends group. Well, my friends group minus one, who we all love very much.
Oh, is this like a so you don't miss out, like...
Video, he'll feel like he's been here the whole time.
Oh, Tao.
I read the Song of Achilles, like you suggested, and I know you said it was going to have a sad ending, but I wasn't prepared and I cried for about 4 hours.
I've heard that. I still need to read it. I think hearing I'm gonna cry is putting me off.
Because I asked you if you were okay, and I guess you just lied. It's not your fault though, Charlie, I know. I hope that when you get back, you don't feel like you have to lie to us anymore.
Yeah, that was a nice way to put it. I like that.
Whoa. Hot off the press, guys. Barbie and Dracula seen making out at
Barbie and Dracula.
Lol. Is this just a joke to you?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Intriguing. Oh, I wonder what route we're gonna go down. Like we were discussing earlier, we can either go down a pure route of Imogen was just drunk, Zahar likes Imogen, and that's where we have this, like, issue and why their friendship didn't work, because Sahar was very caught in those feelings and couldn't handle Imogen being in a relationship? Or are we gonna go down the route of Imogen like lying to herself and she actually would be down, but is like hiding it away due to trying to conform to society? Like, what route are we going to go down? I'm so excited to see, because either way could breed like a really cool story. And I also love that we're focusing on those two, because we haven't had much Imogen and Sahar over the past 3 seasons. I mean, Sahar, we've had hardly anything, but Imogen herself, she's basically been like the extension of other people's stories, you know? Like, even with the stuff with Ben, it was mainly focused around Ben. Imogen was there as well. It's like, I want her to have her own thing, so I hope we see more of this, but yeah, holy shit. To loop back in like what this is and everything, this is such a beautiful thing that Tao's done. Oh my god, to make Charlie not feel like he's missed out on everything, because it must be the worst, because even like people want to tell you what happened while you've been gone, but the problem is it's like they're telling you because they want you to not have been left out, but you will always get that feeling of being left out. You know, you'll always get that feeling because you miss these key moments. So this is such an amazing thing to actually show Charlie as if he's literally been there seeing it himself. Go the fuck off, Tao. I also love the way that Isaac phrased his frustration, because like it is frustrating when you know that someone that you care about has lied to you when they're really struggling. So it's like, why didn't you tell me? But then to reframe it in, I hope that when you come back you feel like you don't need to lie to us because we'll never judge you. A beautiful way to like spin that frustration into a like, I'm not frustrated at you, I'm frustrated for you, like please, we want to help. So yeah, really beautiful scenes this episode. So far, I can confidently say it's been my favorite episode of the season.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm trying out they, them pronouns.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But I feel like you get it. He gets it. Yeah. Really? Oh,
He gets it. Oh, Darcy. That was beautiful. I was wondering if we were going to go down that route, so hell yeah.
And now I have over 10,000 followers.
Oh, fuck yeah, girly pop.
10,000's not that many. Go talk to Tara about her new prefect thing.
Oh, she is a prefect?
I don't know if you have a phone in there, Charlie. I think he'd like to hear your voice.
Oh, look, he's like a sad little puppy.
I can't cook,
Not them recording these two.
Hi to Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Bye, Charlie.
Thanks, Tao. Thanks a lot. Fuck off.
I miss you, Charlie. I love you.
We just want to say that when you get home, we've got a lot planned.
Do we? Oh, God. Yeah.
Isaac's like, I can't promise that I will be attending everything.
I hope that this video makes you feel loved.
I think it will. Absolutely.
By the way, I'm still mad at you about the Song of Achilles.
Fair.
What's that?
I have heard it's basically life ruining.
Hi, Charlie. I love you.
I'm not gonna lie, when we went HD then it like it messed with my eyes. Because we just go from like that quality to this. I was like, huh? That was an absolutely fantastic present, Tao. I love you so much for thinking to do that for him. Like, oh my god, Charlie is going to appreciate that tenfold as well. Like, that is actually amazing. Even though this probably isn't like the end of his journey and everything, like knowing that his friends are there to support him, knowing they love him, knowing like how much they have missed him as well, which like, I know it sounds weird to say like, oh, it feels so good to know how much they missed you, but like we all know it's true. Like when you know that people have like felt, not necessarily lost without you in their lives, but have felt this gap, it's such a like a beautiful human thing to experience.
Being at the clinic didn't magically cure me of mental illness.
But it gave you good
I know
methods
it's scary,
to like get through it?
but you're ready for this, Charlie. And we can carry on our sessions once a week for as long as you need.
Fuck yeah.
But it got me out of the deep end.
Oh, I love that perspective. It wasn't a cure, but it got me out the deep end. Lovely.
Just trust yourself. Yeah.
Oh, look at the tears in her eyes. It's like, it's such a beautiful thing to see these people doing these kind of jobs, but also like your heart breaks for them because they get bonded to these people as well. Like they get bonded to these kids. It's like, oh. Look at Tori smiling.
Maybe I won't ever get back to normal. It's not going to be a straightforward journey.
There'll be bumps in the road.
It's probably just the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can even see a change in her face, like a certain...
Yeah.
Do I have time to go and say hi to Nick?
Okay. Go on then.
Oh, look at her. Even she's feeling that like joy of feeling more connected with him. Like, ah! Merry Christmas. They have beautiful decorations as well. Like, Nick's mum popped off. Is that the end? Nice. I like they include that at the end. Oh, that is... I think I can confidently say that is not only my favorite episode of the season, I think that is my favorite episode of the show as a whole. That was so well done. We'll talk about it more in a minute, but yeah, my main thoughts are that was fucking fantastic. So yes, that was season 3, episode 4 of Heartstopper, my favorite episode of the show, and I cannot begin to explain how much I love that episode. I loved how it was honest, how it was open, how it was realistic. I love the positivity surrounded by it. I love how everything was framed in a way that this wasn't a be-all end-all. This wasn't the solution to the problem. This was simply giving Charlie the tools to allow him to try and live a healthier, happier life and to get himself out the deep end. Like he said, it was so well done, and I really appreciate all of the people involved in this episode and the show as a whole for making it as good as it was, for making it as optimistic as it was. Because like Charlie was saying, even if there are going to be people who don't find this kind of help very helpful, who go through this experience and come out of it either worse off or the same and don't get any better, there is still that chance. It is still a really good tool, a really good option. At the end of the day, it's a start to the journey, even if it doesn't fully work out as well as it did for Charlie. And I just love how, even if it may not work for everyone, I like that they didn't focus on that with Charlie. I like that they showed a scenario where it does work, because it is so much more, like, optimistic. It really makes you think, right, if he can do it, I can do it. Like, I love Charlie. I've seen the journey he's gone through. I'm struggling as well. I've got to do it because I can see how much better he's doing, you know? I think that this is going to be potentially life-changing for some people, and I love when media covers these kind of topics because I think that they are so important, especially for a show that, yes, all people of all ages watch it. I'm sitting here 25 watching it, but it's definitely geared more towards a younger audience, in that it's definitely open for younger people to be watching it. And I absolutely adore that they will now have this representation that they can watch and see a very positive journey that someone has gone through and potentially go down the same journey themselves, you know? Really fucking amazing. In terms of other parts of the episode, I mean, it was so beautiful of Tao to come up with this idea of the video documentary. Oh my god, what a fantastic thing to receive from your friend, because not only would it feel good in and of its own right, but also feel good knowing that, like, your best friend is looking out for you, does love you, is thinking about you while you're gone, is thinking, what would Charlie, like, really be missing out on? Probably all of these things we're going to be doing. Let's fucking include him. Let's show him as if he's watching it with his own eyes. Like, filming that thing with Sahara and Imogen and all that, like, I think that was also really important because, yeah, it was a drama thing, it was like tea, but, like, actually seeing it through the lens of a camera as if you were there yourself is, like, such a big feeling. So I'm so glad that that was filmed as well. And yeah, wow, good job, Tao. Let's leave it at that. Good fucking job, Tao. In terms of other parts, I mean, Darcy saying that they are going by they, them pronouns. Absolutely beautiful. I have been wondering if we were going to go down that route. I mean, they have expressed issues with the gender system before, issues with, like, how they see themselves. So really appreciate that we got to see them find a place where they feel a lot more comfortable to say that to their friends and come out and basically try something new. Because I also like that Darcy phrased it in a way that was like, they don't know if this is going to be forever. They don't know if this is, like, how they're going to identify, but for now they're giving it a go. They're seeing how it feels. See how it feels for them. See if it makes it more comfortable. So really appreciate that. We also got to see Tara struggling still with the pressure of being, well, of being a prefect as well now. She's put even more pressure on her. But obviously I'm not going to say, like, oh, she's put it on herself. Like, she's literally dealing with the pressure as it comes, and she's just saying yes to things, being like, yeah, let's do this then. If it's going to give me better opportunities, like you're saying, I'll do it. But, like, is now continuously adding to the pile. And I fear she's going to get to a point of breaking, but I guess we will see. I mean, the other big thing is that she obviously hasn't discussed this with Darcy, because Darcy was, like, explaining, oh, I have the best girlfriend. She is amazing. She does this, and this, building on that pressure, you know. So I do hope that Tara is open with them. I do hope that Tara actually talks to Darcy, but We will have to see as the season goes on. But the last thing to talk about is Sahar and Imogen. Oh my fucking god. Where is this going? Like we discussed, there's a few routes we can go down. Well, a few, probably like two. There are only two real things I can think of right now. Either, I think the base is that Sahar has had feelings for Imogen for a while. I think that we can clearly determine that based on the knowledge that we have, seeing that she got upset when Imogen got into a relationship before and everything. I think it's been going for a while. But the two routes that we can go down is either Imogen is straight, she was just experimenting, she was just seeing how things feel. Alcohol a lot of the times numbs your inhibitions. It makes you a lot more open to do things that you usually would and you would usually be scared of. So it could very well be that this was just an experiment for her and she's not going to take it any further. Or we're going down a comp het route, and this is the discovery of Imogen within herself that, wait, maybe she isn't as into men as she thought. Maybe she is actually breaking through this feeling of complying to society, trying to comply to what is expected of her, and that is not truly how she feels. But yeah, I mean, obviously we could also go down the fact that a route that she's bi. That could also be a route. I would say that the bi route is probably the least interesting, only because we already have Nick and everything. We've explored that. I think it would be nice to show an example of either a queer person liking someone for a while who it doesn't really work out and everything, or the comp het route, which I think that is probably my most favorite route, because I feel like we haven't got enough like representation of that with someone who is actually in this situation where they're like, wait, fuck, what am I actually feeling? Is this true? Are you right? Do I have feelings? You know? So I would appreciate that route over the other two, but obviously down for anything. But yeah, overall, absolutely fantastic episode. My favorite one of the season, my favorite one of the show, to be completely real. I always love going down routes of mental health and everything. I am a student of psychology myself, is the thing that I'm studying. It has always been one of my favorite things in life, especially when it comes to like the counseling and the therapy side of things. So these are always going to be my favorites, but it wasn't just that reason as to why this is my favorite. I think that this was like, they all acted it to a point where I genuinely thought that I was watching two young people go through the struggles of, one, going through it, and two, dealing with like their partner being gone because they're going through it. Like, so fucking amazing. I think that everyone behind this show, acting and even like in the background and everything, they put their everything into this episode, and it bloody shows. But yes, with that said, I believe I've covered everything I want to talk about, so let's have a look at some Patreon questions. Right, we have quite a lot of questions for this episode. I'm going to go through them, skim through, see if there are ones that I feel like I've already covered. So if I don't answer yours, please do not be offended. It's either that I'm going to cover it in another question or I've already covered it, you know? So let's get into our first one. What are your thoughts on the fact that they decided to show both POVs over the course of 2 months, which included some very low moments for them both, but it ending in a hopeful note after they reunited again? I think that it was one of my favorite things that I've seen in television in a while. I know that it is a very like basic storytelling technique if you really break it down, you know, seeing two different points of view from a time period. It's been done before, but they did it in such a way that was so beautiful, because we had the ups and downs of both of them. We got to see Nick's side of things and fully focus in. It wasn't this like going back and forth where you're like looking at both at the same time. When you actually get to focus in, you get to feel a lot more for the character you're looking at. Like, you're not bouncing between people having different feelings. It's like, I'm watching this one person go through this struggle, go through this like high, low, and you feel it, to then like put an end on that, then begin the next one. It's like watching two completely different stories. And I think that it was so well done. Whoever's decision it was to do that, oh my fucking god, you need a raise. Like, that was absolutely incredible. And yeah, it was one of my favorite parts of this episode, to be honest, because I think that if we had just focused on Charlie, I wouldn't have really like been mad, but there would have been this feeling of, oh, I wish we had like what it would have been like to be in the situation of watching your partner go away for that amount of time, because like 2 months is a long period. 2 months is like a huge amount of time to not be able to see someone. I mean, they went a month without any contact at all, which that sounds even worse, you know? Like, I couldn't even imagine that. So yeah, definitely one of my favorite parts of the episode for sure. Now, next up, what are your thoughts on how they handled the 3-part reveal of what happened with Imogen and Sahar? Honestly, I was getting a bit annoyed because I was like, just give it to me, but I understand why they did it, dragging it on through the episode, so you kind of like got to experience it when Charlie experienced it and actually find out at the same time. But yeah, it's hard to watch, you know? Like, no matter which route they do decide to go down, it's always hard to watch these things because most people have experienced a similar thing. Most people have experienced one or if not both sides of it, and it really does fucking suck. I just hope that they're going to be able to come out of it still friends, no matter what each of them figures out about themselves, you know, or at least reveals about themselves. But yeah, oh, it was a tough watch. But in terms of how they decided to do it, I appreciate it, even though I was getting frustrated, just being like, give it to me. Oh, someone has included some artwork of Nick and Charlie throughout the years. That's amazing. I have actually seen the Hulkling and Wiccan thing because I am a lover of the show Agatha all along. It has been my fucking obsession these past few weeks. A little bit too obsessed, if some may say. But yeah, I did see that just because it was related to that rather than Heartstopper. But yeah, holy shit. Actually, imagine if they managed to get Kit Connor for that. That would be insane, but we shall see. But yeah, thank you for linking those things. I'll definitely have a look at them after. Now, next up, after this year of my mental health roller coaster journey, I feel very seen. They did an amazing job on it. My question is, how do you think they did in this episode? Do you think it was good representation? I think it was amazing representation. You could definitely argue that we are seeing a person whose parents did have the funds available to go to a private practice, to actually seek private healthcare, which is a rarity for a lot of people. It's a struggle for a lot of people. I mean, most people would have had to go through the NHS route, which would have been January. It would have been end of January. Could have got 10 times worse by then. Even if you then got to that point in January, you don't know how long the system is going to take. You don't know how good the system is, because a lot of healthcare workers in the NHS are overworked, are not in the best positions themselves, thereby you may not be getting like the best quality healthcare, even if they don't mean to be doing that, you know, like nothing against anyone who works in the NHS. Do not get me wrong. I'm just saying, when you're underfunded and you're in a stressful job and everything, like, I can understand that the people in a private practice will probably be more effective because they're not as like stressed and everything, you know? So it is definitely very good representation for the situation that Charlie went through. That being said, I do think that it was good to focus on this side of things, because even if you are in the less fortunate circumstance, I think it's very important to focus on the more positive sides of getting help, especially when this would be something that might drive people to seek help themselves. If we did focus on people from a different background where they didn't have access to it, went down a like worse route and didn't get the healthcare they needed, was really bad, you know, it, even though it would be accurate, I think that it would be detrimental to what they're trying to do here and to like get people to seek help and everything. I think sometimes it is good to focus on like the positives, focus on the best case scenario, because it is the thing that is going to drive people to potentially seek help themselves. So yeah, I think that for Charlie's circumstance, it was an absolutely incredible representation, and I really loved it. I've never been through Charlie's form of mental health problems before, but I have been through my own, and I think that this was just a absolutely beautiful showing of someone who is really struggling and is like lashing out at people and struggling themselves and not knowing what to do, and after lashing out and having those outbursts to then say sorry, like, I've hurt your feelings and everything. Like, it was so like, not necessarily eye-opening. It's like when you look in a mirror, you know, and you see yourself in someone. It was heartbreaking in that sense, but equally healing. And I think that they did a really good job with that. Now, next up, what are your thoughts on the growth and development of Nick's relationships with both Tao and Tori? They are probably two of the most important people to Charlie, and it has been an interesting journey over 3 seasons to watch them accept Nick's place in the friend group and in Charlie's life. It has been beautiful. Like, having that moment where Nick and Tao sat down, and Tao didn't even need to say anything, didn't need to question. He knew what Nick needed in that moment, and he gave it to him. He gave him a hug. That was so beautiful. To then have that scene in the car with Tori and Nick, where she's like, what are you looking at? Duh, duh, duh. And Nick being like, oh, I wonder if she likes me. To then flip to, like, Tori being with her favorite person who she can be open with. To then say she loves him. She's her favorite. Like, it was so cute to see, because I think we could see it, but obviously when you're in Nick's scenario, you're going to be like, oh, does she like me? It was so cute to see her actually say those words. But yeah, the growth and development of those relationships has been insane and insanely beautiful. I think that it's a real shame. I've been in a situation myself in a relationship where there is a divide between your partner and your friends, and it really sucks. It really hurts, because the people who are the most important in your life, you would love to get on. You kind of like require them to get on, you know? Because when that doesn't happen, oh my God, it's horrible. So I'm so glad that both Nick and Tao and Tori have been so open to building these bonds with each other, because you do hope that it one day gets to a point where they're like genuinely like wanting to hang out with each other separately. Like, especially when we look at Tori, who has like so few people in her life that she is close to. I would love to see a situation where she actually gets like close with Nick himself. And for instance, they can do stuff without Charlie, you know, like they can actually hang out together. Like that would be the most beautiful thing to see come out of all of this. But yeah, warms your heart. Now moving on, next up, somewhat related, now that everyone likely knows what a big role Nick played in getting Charlie to ask for help, do you think that impacted their view of him, particularly Charlie's mum? Intriguing. We see that she's allowed Nick to come with the family to the treatment center for visits, but do you think this situation has altered her view on Nick or his relationship with Charlie as a whole? I think this situation opened both of his parents' eyes fully. Like, they had been accounting this behavior to like Nick and like becoming a teenager and hormones and everything. They didn't think that there was like a bigger issue going on, which I think that they could have done a better job in trying to understand and be there for their child. But I think, like we discussed earlier, it was one of those situations where they didn't have the tools. Like, you could see with the way that Charlie's mum was behaving, she was getting frustrated, she was getting angry, and most of the time when it comes to like a parent relationship and all that, unless you are just genuinely an asshole, a lot of the time that comes from a lack of understanding, a lack of like knowing what's going on, and you're getting frustrated because like you're trying to help, you're trying to figure it out, but the things that you're doing that you think are helping your child are doing the opposite and causing everything to explode, so you don't know what to do. So I think that his parents like fully just assigned it to be like, oh, he's a teenager, getting hormones, getting angry, that's all this is. So I think having their eyes open to the real problem, I think it then like kind of exploded all the ideas that they had of Nick, all the ideas that they had of their relationship, and made them understand like, fuck, where we have been failing, where we have not been there for Charlie, he has. Where we have not been able to like have our child be open with us, he has been open with Nick. Nick was the reason that Charlie came to us to talk about the things he was struggling with. So I think not only has it changed their perspective on Nick, I think it's made them respect Nick. I think it's like made them fully like love him for doing that for their child, because they do love Charlie. Like, it's so evident that they love him, and I think that seeing a person take care of your child is like one of the best parts of being a parent, you know, like actually seeing this person that you've brought up, that you want to be happy and everything, find someone that genuinely wants to take care of them for the rest of their life. My God, that must be the best feeling in the world. So yeah, I definitely think that their opinion of Nick has changed, and seeing his mum like smile and be like, yeah, of course, like go ahead, as long as you're back for dinner in time and all that, that was really sweet. It was so nice to see the joy on her face as well, because you know that as a parent, we've discussed like Nick not being able to see Charlie, but as a parent, knowing your child's in that situation, and yeah, they're getting help, but still, it fucking sucks to know that they're struggling so much, you know? So I think that that was like really special of her to like actually have Charlie be honest, be like, can I go and see Nick? Like, is that all right? And her be like, yeah, of course. Like, go ahead, my boy. It was really sweet to see. But yes, anyway, moving on next up. Oh, interesting. So someone's given me a little background on Solitaire, when it takes place, and the fact that it is very focused on Charlie's eating disorder, like recovery time. And they have then gone into the question, does it reframe any of your thoughts on the storyline in any way? I mostly ask this because I feel like people look at Charlie's storyline this season as a choice the show or comics made to explore this topic after the characters and relationships were established, but it's actually an adaptation of something that existed before almost any other story aspect of the show. Ooh, that is so interesting, because they've explained that Alice themselves were a teenager at the time when they wrote Solitaire to now being an adult writing it again. That's such an interesting perspective. Wow. Because yeah, you would like, we all like to think that we are mature when we're in our teens, and people mature at many different ages, but I think you do really change. Like, myself at 16 was completely different to myself at 18. Myself at 18 was completely different to myself at 20. Myself now at 24, completely different to myself at 20. Like, you really do just gain different perspectives in life as you go through based on, like, your own experiences and just generally becoming an adult. And so I do think that that is a really good point to make, that there was this original thing brought into the world when Solitaire was written, but then to now reframe it from the adult perspective. That's really cool. I am actually very curious to read Solitaire now, because I have stayed away from it due to spoilers and everything. Just for people who don't know, I don't read the books that like haven't already been covered in the show, just because I like to go into these shows like with a clear perspective, just looking at the show itself rather than like book and show, which there are many other reactors who do both, so definitely look out there if you find them. But I like to keep myself spoiler free going into TV shows, so I haven't read anything that isn't like already covered, so I'm excited for the day when I can actually read Solitaire and see that difference, because I'm sure that there will be a substantial difference in how things are like tonally covered, because Solitaire itself, based on this comment, says that it is a very like dark and more negative experience because it is from her perspective, and we know that Tori herself is struggling. But this very much was more from like a positive spin. Like, we did see the negatives, but it ended in a very positive way, and we saw some amazing changes and an amazing journey of Charlie, to the point where he's not like finished the journey, he started it, but he's got himself out the deep end. I would like to see the tonal difference then, to see if it's a lot more negative, not only from the point of view of it being from Tori's mind, but also from Alice being younger themselves, and see how that has influenced it as well. That's a really good point. Thank you. That's got me hyped to read Solitaire now and actually see those differences. I would also really like to just get Tori's perspective as well, because I understand why we only got Nick and Charlie's limited time and everything, but I would love to have seen what Tori was going through that period too. Now, moving on next up, you mentioned in a previous reaction that you felt like Heartstopper might have rushed through the discovery of Charlie's eating disorder. After watching the time jump in episode 4 and the montages, do you still feel like the topic has been rushed over? And if you do you think the rushing over this serious topic will give unrealistic expectations for others seeking similar treatment as to how quick it will be? I don't feel the same. I do still feel that him coming to like the conclusion that he needed help and everything, from what we saw, felt very quick. I do think that that was unrealistic, just in the sense that a lot of the times when it comes to mental health and all that, denial is the biggest obstacle. It is like the biggest fucking monster in your path. You got to fight the denial to then finally get to the point of seeking help, and then the journey begins. So I do think that it was, I don't want to say rushed though, because I think Charlie, in his unique circumstance of having someone as amazing as supportive as Nick, that does bring it, it does make it come around a lot quicker. You know, like, it just does. To have someone that supportive with you, the majority of the time, the people that take so long to get to this place, it's because they don't have people that they feel comfortable talking with. They don't have these people they feel comfortable opening up with. And so it is just like an internal personal journey. And that is going to take a lot longer because it is a lot harder. So I don't want to say that it was rushed. I take that back. I just think that when it comes to like a realistic scenario where you don't have someone as amazing as Nick, it is going to take longer. And I do feel like that was a much quicker thing than it would be for the like majority of people. But this journey itself, I don't think it was rushed. I think that they did an amazing idea of having like a montage and like a seeing things over a certain period of time. Because if they had just said that like all of this happened in 2 weeks, I would have had a problem with that, because I feel like that's just very unrealistic. Whereas 2 months sounds more realistic, especially when we've got to this point of it ending on a note of, I'm feeling better, I'm feeling good, I'm not like cured, this thing isn't over, this is going to be a long journey, I've just started this journey, but I'm feeling much more capable of getting myself through it. So I think ending with that message has definitely like negated this feeling of it being rushed, you know? I think that was a really, really good way of doing it. Now, next up, what are your thoughts on the production quality this season? That is a great question, because we touched on it a little bit earlier, but like, to get more into it, oh my god, it's been so fucking amazing. Not just from the point of view of like actual like good quality cameras and like all of that kind of stuff. I mean, that shift from when we were watching Tao's video to seeing Charlie and Nick again, I was like, oh my god, yeah, fuck, this is what the show usually looks like. Like, it's like so well done in that sense. I'm loving their use of colors as well. Like, having the facility that Charlie was in feel so warm, so welcoming, so like full of love and just wanting people to get better. It was like so beautiful. It definitely took away from the more like cold clinical things that you would have seen in the past in shows and everything. Like, when you see like mental health hospitals and people like in really bad states and everything, a lot of the time it really does just feel like gray and devoid of joy, devoid of life. And that's really fucking depressing for a place that's like trying to get people to a better place mentally. It always feels just so like, ugh. So to see a place that was like so warm was actually really nice to see. And in terms of like the other production stuff, I mean, everything has been good. Like, everything this season has been amazing. We got like the acting feeling fucking incredible. We got the writing feeling really good as well. The way that they phrase things, the way that they've span things to see from different points of view, and also from different like emotional points of view, to see like really dark moments, to then have it span in a more positive way. They've just done everything amazing this season. It's been a knockout of the park. I don't have a single problem so far, you know? Like, my only problem that I had was just like things feeling a tiny bit rushed, but even then, I think that given Charlie's circumstance with Nick and everything, that one didn't feel rushed based on his circumstance. So I don't have a negative for this season, and that just speaks to the entire production. The use of music as well. I've noticed that. I notice it in every season. Like, Heartstopper has always been that show that like has done really well with its music choices, but the lyricism that they focused on this season have blown my mind away. There were so many moments this episode. I think of 2 songs specifically this episode where like the lyrics themselves played so well into what the character was going through in that moment. And yeah, not to keep like blabbing on, but fucking hell, it has been a knockout of the park. Also, we do have a second part of this question, not really being a question, but also a discussion about the question last episode relating to Heartstopper feeling like unrealistic in a school sense and all that. It's hard because we're all going to see it from different points of view based on our own experiences. You can never say that one school is going to be representative of everything else. A school like their school might actually exist in the UK. It might fully be something that is realistic. It's not realistic to my experience of school, but then again, it's been like 6 years since I was in my last year of school, so things could have changed a lot then. Things could have changed depending on people's backgrounds as well. Like, we got so many people in different socioeconomic backgrounds that it's gonna really change your school experience and the type of people you're around, the level of negativity that is associated with those things, you know? So it's all gonna be different based on different people's backgrounds. So I don't want to say that the school itself is like completely unrealistic. It's just from my experience of my school, it doesn't link well to that, but it could link well to someone else's, you know? Now, next up, Kit Connor said in an interview that he considers this the best episode of Heartstopper that was ever made. What are your thoughts on that? Would you consider this the best episode you've seen so far? Yes, absolutely. Not only from the topics covered, but the way that they did it, how well executed it was, the acting from everyone involved, like even Charlie's friends, like not just Charlie and Nick, but like every single person, Tori, parents, everything was a knockout of the park. From the editing choices, from the choices of seeing 2 people's point of views through the entire journey, to then see someone else's, to then meet in the middle again. Everything that they did this episode made me so fucking happy that I couldn't have asked for them to do a better job. So absolutely agree with his comment there. Oh, we've got like quite a long question here. It is going to be our last question, but I'm just like reading through everything. I didn't realize that the music from their first kiss in season 1 is the music that was playing when they kissed during Nick's visit. Stop, that's so cute. Ah! But anyway, get back to this question. Okay, so the question is, did you notice any storytelling shorthand in this episode that spoke to you? But one thing that I did want to get back to, which is in this comment, is the framing it as Charlie is back and Nick is happy to see him from the very start of the episode helps us as the audience tolerate the rough start and gives the Heartstopper sweetness. That is an incredible point. Thank you for putting that, because I hadn't like put that into my head myself. That is such a good point, because we start this episode being like, right, okay guys, are you ready? This is going to be rough, but it's going to end well. They're both going to be happy in 2 months. Before we jump back, just get that in your heads. Now let's deal with the shit, you know? Such a good point. That was absolutely amazing. In terms of any storytelling shorthand that spoke to me, I mean, we've discussed a lot of it when it came to seeing their different points of view. We've discussed the fact that the place itself had a very warm feeling, which was really nice. That was one thing we didn't discuss. I love the representation of the medical workers there, like the therapist and the lady who was assigned to help Charlie and everything. Like, that was such a good representation of those people, because you even see it with like nurses in hospitals and that. These are people who have to deal with some of the roughest stuff. Like, we as people who aren't in that field and everything, we deal with it when it's personal, when it's happening to us or a family member. They deal with it day to day. They deal with those struggles, and they see these people who are in such rough spots, and they make it their mission to get that person in a good place. And especially when you're considering mental health, where it is a big up and down, like as a healthcare worker, someone who is trying to make this person healthier, trying to make this person happier, get them to a better place, when they do have those dips, it must be like really crushing to see this person who was doing so well the day before struggle again so much. And it would be a little bit, what do you call it? It would feel a little bit shitty from like your side of things, thinking like, am I not doing well enough helping them? And so I really appreciated how they showed these people from such a kind and just wanting to help Charlie point of view. It was so fucking sweet. I mean, that lady, I believe her name was Susan. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be right. I'm really bad with names, but she was a star. She really reminded me of people that I've seen in my life, like when my granddad was in hospital and seeing the nurses and how wonderful they were, to seeing other different media representations of people in mental health facilities and that. Like, these are the people who are like the backbone of treatment when it comes to people getting to a better place, and it's so beautiful to see such a lovely representation of someone in that field, because they deserve all of the love that they should get. But yeah, I can't think of any like things that we haven't mentioned when it comes to storytelling shorthand in terms of the rest of the episode. Oh, one thing that we didn't speak about, I liked the fact that they included the Darcy pronoun thing in the video, and how it felt very like it was played in a way that it was still very new to them. Like, Darcy was still processing that this was like a thing that they were going to be trying. I liked how it was done in a way that fully felt like Charlie was there for the ride, you know? But that was just the whole video as a whole. Like, once again, Tao, pop the fuck off. But yeah, overall, absolutely amazing episode. My favorite of the season, and I cannot wait to see the rest, but I fear it will not live up to how amazing that episode was, because my God. I'm going to remember this one. But yes, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon, where you'll be able to find the early and cut reactions to Heartstopper and all the other shows that I do. Also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.